Hey everybody, how's it going? Today is May 27th, 2019. Hope everyone's having a nice Memorial Day out there. In this video, I'm going to talk about the passing of MLB superstar Bill Buckner, who is the most famous, or perhaps infamous, for an error that he committed in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, which delayed the Red Sox breaking their famous curse that lasted throughout most of the 20th century. Now, in order to understand this video, you need to have a slight grasp of the language of Gematria, a very simple practice of coding numbers into words. Ancient alphabets like Hebrew and Greek, the characters used in their alphabets also doubled as numbers, and it turns out that in English this practice is very alive and well. We start with the alphabetic order, the most simple cipher, each letter numbered 1 through 26 relative to its position in the alphabet. The reduction or Pythagorean methods use the rules of numerology to reduce each double-digit number to a single digit prior to adding it to the equation. And when you look at this language and observe it and compare it to dates on the calendars, both date durations, date numerologies, you find out something very strange is going on in this world. And we start very simply today, May 27th, 2019. They recently just changed his date of death on Wikipedia from the 26th to the 27th, which is today's date. And, of course, the date that this news is breaking out on. Well, today has full numerology of 71. This is 5 plus 27 plus 20 plus 19. In the language of Gematria, using the S exception, Boston Red Sox sums to 71. In the reverse method, Bill Buckner equals 71. And it's being said that he died of dementia, which, using the standard alphabetic order, equals 71 as well. And we're not only going to talk about how this ties into dates on the calendar, but also yesterday's Boston Red Sox game and that game's winning pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez. All these alignments, very clear. It's much of the same that we see in previous decodes that I've done. And it seems as if the numerology of yesterday's baseball game foreshadowed Buckner's death, as strange as that may seem. In English extended gematria, this method structured more closely to Hebrew gematria and Greek isopsephy, producing much larger numbers. In this cipher, dementia equals 314. Bill Buckner's full name is William Joseph Buckner. And when you reverse the alphabetic order, where the letter Z is assigned the number 1 and A gets 26, we find that this name equals 314. We'll talk about the ordinal value and how this ties in very significantly in a little bit. But isn't it interesting that the name Buckner equals 74, in ordinal also 38? He might as well have had the word error on the back of his jersey. Notice how the word error has this same 74 and 38 value. They're saying that the disease that took his life is not only called dementia, but also Lewy body dementia. And in reduction, Lewy body dementia sums to 74. And this is a number we see coded into killing very often. Notice how killing sums to 74, just like Buckner, just like the disease he died of. The same disease, by the way, which matches his full name and the date on which he died. It all lines up all too well. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here and look at the winning pitcher for yesterday's Red Sox game. Notice how Eduardo Rodriguez was born on April 7th, 1993. So let's plug this date here in the calculator. And now we'll look at Bill Buckner's birthday, December 14th, 1949. That means when Eduardo Rodriguez was born, Bill Buckner was exactly 2,260 weeks old. Using the alphabetic order, the name William Joseph Buckner, his full given name, in the most basic cipher, William Joseph Buckner equals 226. How amazing is this? But there's a lot more that goes into this. 226 is a number associated with sacrifice. See how the word sacrifice equals 226 in this English extended cipher? I find it interesting that Eduardo Rodriguez has this nickname El Gualo. And this sounds like a Spanish word, but there doesn't seem to be any translation for the word gualo. And when you look it up, there's this story about all these mysterious nicknames on the Red Sox. And this guy apparently is keeping the meaning behind his nickname secret. So what is El Gualo supposed to mean? This guy doesn't know. I find it interesting that El Gualo equals 73, using the alphabetic order, which is the same as the word sacrifice, 73. And of course, he has the 226 alignment with William Joseph Buckner. This ties in very well, and it's actually a little creepy. But here's what else is interesting. Notice that after the game, Eduardo Rodriguez, the winning pitcher for the Red Sox in yesterday's win over the Astros, ended the game with a record of 5-3. The Boston Red Sox are now 28-25, and this means they've played 53 games. And by winning 28 of them, look at their winning percentage, .528, or you could round that to 53%. In reduction, Boston Red Sox has a value of 53. Now, if you're familiar with my work, I talk about solar eclipses. And this is because the numeric riddles that surround death seem to universally be related to the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. Now, we talked about how Buckner sums to 74, just like the word killing. Well, this is also the value of the word Jesus. And it's said that Jesus died on the cross. He was the Messiah, this story retold in the Gospel. 3 of the 4 canonical Gospels mentioning darkness during the crucifixion. Well, in Gematria, solar eclipse equals 53. And the game in which Rodriguez became 5-3 in their 53rd game, where they won 53%, that was 5 weeks and 3 days before the solar eclipse. And now news of Buckner's death falls on Memorial Day, which sums to 53 as well. Now here's what's really interesting. The 53rd prime number, 241. Eduardo Jose Rodriguez, in the alphabetic order, equals, 240. And I just want to point out how close that is to 241, the 53rd prime. And again, I point at the rule of Kollel, which appears to be significant from time to time. And I don't use this very often, but when you're looking at the alphabetic order and something that's so clear, I would say this definitely does here. Worth noting that Kollel, look at this, Kollel in the alphabetic order equals 47. Notice how this is Freemasonry's compass and square. The compass on Freemasonry's emblem is set to 47 degrees. And here's the image that I made on Google Images. You see the compass there set to 47 degrees. So interesting that Kollel equals 47. I think that's pretty legit. And speaking of 47, that's Rodriguez's birthday, 4/7. Rodriguez wears number 57. You see that here, number 57. And this is going to bring us into the moon and eclipse riddle a little further. The moon travels 57 degrees across the ecliptic, 28.5 degrees north, 28.5 degrees south. The word moon equals 57 in the alphabetic order. Now, the other cipher that you may have seen on the screen earlier was Jewish Gematria. This also called Latin Gematria, based in the Latin alphabetic order. Well, notice how moon equals 170 in this method. This is the ordinal Gematria of Boston Red Sox, 170. In Jewish Gematria, Boston Red Sox equals 861. This is our 41st triangular number. And this really stands out because yesterday's Red Sox-Astros game finished with a score of 4-1, pointing again at the fact that this was a massive Red Sox ritual. Speaking of the number 170, as found in Boston Red Sox, this is the reverse value of the word sacrifice, 170. In fact, ritual sacrifice equals 154, which is the ordinal value in reverse of Boston Red Sox. The 170 is interesting. Kill also equals 17. Now, if you measure from Game 6 of the 1986 World Series to the date of Buckner's death, you get 1,700 weeks. And I don't talk about trigonal gematria very often, but when you're looking at a really large number like this, it is worth pointing out that ritual human sacrifice equals 1,700. And it's been 1,700 weeks since Buckner booted the ball and committed that infamous error. Now, in ordinal gematria, ritual human sacrifice equals 211. Again, this English ordinal cipher definitely the most significant. Now, the Red Sox actually recently won the World Series. Game 7 was on October 28th of last year. And if you measure from that date to Buckner's death, look at that. It's exactly 211 days. If you use prime numbers, another mathematical cipher, killing equals 211. If you measure from the most recent total solar eclipse, we get exactly 21 months in 1 week, another 211. .211 is a prime number, the 47th prime. The word killing has exception value of, what is it? I don't remember how to open my KV cipher with, for some reason, with shortcuts. But killing does have that value of 47 with the K exception. And again, total eclipse equals 47. All of these sacrifices related numerically to total solar eclipses. And this 4-7, of course, brings us back to Eduardo Rodriguez's birthday of April 7th. As far as the word sacrifice goes, we mentioned how sacrifice summing to 170, just like Boston Red Sox. Well, in reduction, sacrifice equals 46. This is the same in the same method as Bill Buckner. Now, in Hebrew Gematria, sacrifice equals 347. That's the 69th prime number. The word eclipse in the alphabetic order equals 69. Again, eclipse, sacrifice, all one and the same. Notice how Bill Buckner made his major league debut in the year 69, right at the end of the season, and now he's passed away at age 69. Again, he's famous for his error during the World Series, which equals 69. As far as the 147 in ordinal, Bill Buckner's dead on the 147th day of the year. And the game yesterday, in which Eduardo Rodriguez defeated the Houston Astros, interesting that Houston Astros equals 147. And this does make me curious about the 2017 World Series, which was won by the Houston Astros. What date was Game 7? I'm going to find the Wikipedia here. November 1st. I'm not seeing anything stick out from the date that the Houston Astros won the World Series. Not really sure that would make sense if there was. But nonetheless, you know, the big part here is the riddle with Eduardo Rodriguez. We definitely see that something strange is going on, and is Major League Baseball, are these teams really setting these games up this way? Are they really rigging it like this? I could definitely argue that they are. I guess the question would be why. But, you know, what are these sports? Are these sports just a massive, twisted, sick joke? To the point that they're literally just doing numeric sacrifice rituals in front of us without us knowing? Again, I feel like I could certainly make the argument. And the numerology here points to the fact that that's exactly what's happening. So there you have it, guys. Thanks to everybody who jumped in, whether you're watching live or archived. Sorry about my first try at this video where I once again messed up the audio. I'm just a video amateur, you know. So it's the kind of thing that happens. All right, everyone. Thanks for popping in. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. As again, understandably so, this content has faced censorship. And, you know, who knows when the internet might decide to take this kind of thing off the internet altogether. All right, guys. Peace, love, and God bless. See ya!